Hello everyone, welcome back. Today in this tutorial I am trying to explaining about comparable versus comparator. So this is one of the most important concept and moreover that mostly asked interview question. So comparable versus comparator. So first let me try to explain about theory, then I will write the example. So comparable is a functional interface from 1.2 onwards. Let me show you the documentation. So comparable is an interface since 1.2 onwards. Moreover that comparable is having only one abstract method called compare to. So return type is integer. So next one is comparator. So comparator also functional interface. Both functional interfaces, comparable and comparator. So anyway, before 1.8 itself we have some functional interfaces like runnable, comparable. These are some functional interfaces which is having only one abstract method. So comparator also functional interface. This is abstract class. Not I did not open. It is not opening after clicking on here. So let me open from collections class. I'm trying to open documentation about comparator interface. So collections dot sort second parameter is comparator. Here if I can go inside that sort. So functional interface, right? Comparator is functional interface since 1.2 onwards. So it is having only one abstract method called compare. So but comparator have n number of methods, but in comparable we have only one abstract method, that is compare to. So this is the first difference. So comparable and comparator both are functional interfaces having only one abstract method. So in comparable we have compare to, in comparator we have compare. And moreover that comparable is from java.lang, comparator is from java.util. If you can observe here, comparable is from java.lang package, comparator is from java.util package. So next one is by using comparable. It will always follows default natural sorting order. So if you want customized sorting order, go for comparator. So these are the major difference. Four major difference between comparable versus comparator. So if someone will ask what is the difference between comparator and comparable, so both are functional interfaces only. Comparable contains compare to method, comparator contains compare method. So comparable is from java.lang package, comparator is from java.util package. So comparable is nothing but natural sorting order, comparator is nothing but custom sorting order. Now let me try to write an example for for comparable and comparator. So for this I am trying to, I already created an employee object here, employee class. So for this employee class I will create objects, then I will explain about comparable versus comparator. So this is the poso employee class which is having four attributes and default constructor, parameterized constructor, along with setters getters with the two string. Now let me try to write example. So first I am trying to take one collection source to store all that employee objects. So employee, so emp list. So this list, how it will work: default natural sorting order, custom sorting order. Let me show you with comparable and comparator. So here emp list, new array list I am trying to consider here, array list. Now if I can add all employee object inside this employee list, I don't get any default sort, default natural sorting order or custom sorting order. Let me show you that without implementing comparable and comparator I am trying to explain. So emp list without comparable and comparator I am trying to show you. So new emp parameterized constructor I am trying to use. So here first one is employee id parameter, second one is employee name, third one is employee salary, and last one is employee id, name, salary, string, I think phone number. Last one is not phone number, it is date of join. So date of join, for that I can use local date dot now. So I'm passing some default dummy data. Now let me try to store some, more than one object, employee object inside that collection. So employee 4, I'm trying to provide some random integer, I mean employee id. And so here now minus days, I'm trying to pass some 30. And again here I'm trying to pass some. So anyway, same, right? Instead of that I can apply local date dot minus months, I'm trying to pass here 5 and 3. So here I'm trying to pass some random employee salary. So minus, I'm trying to provide minus weeks. So I'm trying to use some, I mean all factor method that exists inside that local date. So here finally one more employee object. So here I'm trying to provide dot minus months, I'm trying to use some 15. So these are the employee object. Here I mean I created employee object with the zigzag, and moreover that we employee salary is also some different, date of joining also different. So if I can print that employee object, let me try to print that. So emp list dot for each, I am trying to use for each method. So consumer, which is expecting each employee object, I am trying to print. Now if I can print it, I did not implement comparable and moreover that comparator. If we can observe that it follows the insertion order. Why? Because the list follows insertion order, right? So 1 4 2 3, I mean 2 3 5, and moreover that same order, Varun Tarun Karun G1 Menon. So I want to sort employees by their salaries or by using names. Now let me try to do that by using comparable. So comparable is default natural sorting order, right? How we can get default natural sorting order means, so by using collections dot sort, if we can apply collections dot sort, it will throw error. Why? Because that corresponding class, it is not implementing comparable. If I can pass this employee list, I will get compilation error. See here. So if you can observe that compilation error, the method sort list of type T in the type collection is not applicable for the arguments list of employee. Why? Because the sort method is expecting, I mean that corresponding employee, I mean whichever object you are trying to store inside that list, I mean a list collection, that object class, I mean that corresponding class must and should implement comparable. Then only, I mean it will be work as expected, I mean default natural sorting order. So to overcome this problem, I mean to avoid this compilation error, first we need to go for employee class. So here we need to implement comparable. So comparable of type employee. So now first I am trying to show default natural sorting order. So based on one fixed value. So here it is saying compilation error, we need to implement that, override that compare to. So here compare to, here I am trying to sort the employees based on their salaries. So I am sorting the values based on their salaries, right? So first I am trying to check. So here o, right, o dot get emp sal is less than this dot get emp sal. So then I am trying to return minus 1, I mean ascending order I am trying to consider here, else if, so reverse. So if it is greater than, I am trying to return positive number, return 1. Otherwise, if both are same, return 0. If I can apply collections dot sort, I won't get any compilation error. If you can observe here now, collections dot sort, which is expecting list source, right? So if I can pass this emp list, I won't get any compilation error. Why? Because that object corresponding class implemented comparable. That's why I did not get any compilation error. Now if I can enter one more time, I mean one more time, if I can print that, let me try to make one separator. Now run it. So if you can observe now, I think this is descending order, so I did here reverse. So instead of that, I can press my, I mean 1 and -1. Now observe the output. So I mean higher will mean it is coming in descending order, right? Previously it will be zigzag. I mean there is no sorting order with any attribute. Now it all employee objects sorted based on their employee salaries in descending order. If you want ascending order, now let me try to execute. So now ascending order 19, 23, 26, 29, 33. Based on their employee salaries, I am trying to sort, right? So this is nothing but default natural sorting order. So always here sorting happens based on employee salaries. So if you don't want employee salaries, sometimes I want sorting based on employee IDs. Sometimes I want sorting based on employee names. Sometimes I want salary. Sometimes I want date of join. In that case, we can go for comparator. So comparator is nothing but custom sorting order, right? Here I said custom sorting order. Depending on my requirement, I can select either it may be employee ID, employee name, employee salary. Let me show you that. So first I want to sort employee IDs based on their employee ID. I want to sort. Let me try to implement that. So for now, let me try to comment it to avoid confusion. So now I want to sort employee object depending on their IDs. So for that, what I need to do, can use collections, one of the utility class collections, right? So collections dot sort overloaded method. Previously I used sort with list parameter. Now sort with list parameter. Second one is comparator. So here we can achieve that customized sorting order. Let me show you that. So here comparator. So comparator compare method which is expecting two attributes, right? Let me show you that method. Comparator method, it is expecting two objects. So here also I am trying to implement a lambda expression employee 1 comma employee 2. So with that I am trying to implement same logic. So I want to implement sorting based on employee IDs, right? So now e1 dot get amp id dot compare to dot, I think. So in employee, what is the employee data type? This is the int, right? So that's why I did not get comply. So and one more thing, I mean one point I forgot. So all I mean all wrapper classes and string class implements comparable. So that's why when you're trying to insert strings, I mean it will get default natural sorting order. And moreover that all wrapper classes like, and I mean double, if you can observe double, so implements comparable. Not only double, integer, character, I mean float, all wrapper classes implements comparable. This is also one important point. So if I can, why? Because I am trying to sort here based on their employee IDs, right? So I did not apply, I mean here, I mean I can't apply compare to. Why? Because for wrapper class there is no method like compare to, right? I mean for primitives, for if it is wrapper class I can apply compare to. So instead of that, what I can do, right? Like I can apply like employee ID minus e2 dot get e2 dot employee id. So now anyway I am sorting based on primitive values, not, I mean why? Because here in employee class id is primitive. If you can apply integer, you can use here compare to. Why? Because that compare to integer class implements comparable. That compare to method again available inside that integer variable class. So anyway my employee class id is primitive, right? That's why I'm trying to implement. If both are same, it will return 0. I mean both employee IDs. First employee is greater than second employee. I mean 3 minus 2, you will get positive number. So 1 minus 4 minus 3 negative number. Anyway here we implemented, right? So same logic here also will apply. So like this. Now let me try to observe that once the custom sorting is done, depend I mean based on their IDs. So if I can use this again, let me try to run. So here two times, right? This one, if I can uncomment. So previously employee IDs are zigzag. One will be there, four will be there, two, three, five. But after applying my custom sorting order, you can observe that all employee IDs are sorting based on natural sorting order. I mean one to five. Without comparator, the employee IDs are zigzag. Wantedly, I added employee IDs. I mean zigzag. I mean order only. So this is our employee ID. So if we can stick with comparable, if I want to change instead of employee salary, I want to sort based on employee names. Again I need to come here, I need to change instead of employee salary, I need to change employees name. So that is the problem with default natural sorting order. So if you want always sort with only one attribute, go for comparable. If you want to your sorting order is changed depending on your requirement, in that case go for comparator. So I don't want again employee ID. I mean sorting based on employee ID. Now I want to sort based on employee name. In that case, I can use here directly. I can change that. So get employee name. Here I do. I mean this subtraction is not possible. Why? Because that is string attribute, right? So that is not valid code. So instead of that, what I will do? I will do apply compare to. So in that case, now observe the output. Now sorting is based on employee names. If I can run, so J, this is the ascending order, right? J K M T V. So depending on my employee names, it is sorting ascending order. If you want descending order, simple reverse E2 E1. Now run it. So reverse V T M K J, like that. So just flip that. These values variables, right? So just to flip that variables here, then you will get a descending order. Even for IDs also, like this you can apply for employee salaries, date of join, whatever it may be. Here I have only four attributes, right? So if you have n number of attributes, if you want to sort from that n number of attributes depending on your requirement, go for comparator. If you want to sort always based on only specific attribute, go for comparable. That is the difference between comparable and comparator. So I explained with in detail example, right? What is the how to implement comparable, how to implement comparator, and when to go for comparable, when to go for comparator. So I hope you got some clarity. So if you like the content, hit on like button and subscribe Programming KT. Thanks for watching.